and over 500 brokers around the world. I'm proud to say we score 4.9 out of 5 on Trustpilot with reviews of our customers. I like to say we have a passion for what we do in really helping clients exponentially grow their business by understanding private banking really well. One of the common questions I get is, Timur, there's a recession or depression that's going to be hitting us. There's a global inflation that's coming that we are facing. We just survived COVID. We need to find a way to become self-funded for life. What are 3 ways that's proven, just a proven template that anybody could deploy? So the first common answer is a religion called using other people's money. This religion is often found in places like real estate investing. If you're a real estate investor or experienced real estate investors, maybe is the correct way of saying it. At some point, a lot of real estate investors use money from friends and family. If they grow enough, they may hire an attorney and get a prospectus so they can raise money from the public. If you're a CEO of a publicly traded company, you are selling shares and people are giving you money for their shares. And that entire industry runs a religion called using other people's money. When you use other people's money, you're getting funding for projects you want to do. And if you do it long enough, you can get funding for life. Really, you can. You can be on the phone all day long, raising money from friends and family, do an IPO, whatever the deal is, to raise money constantly, but you're using other people's money. The second religion, this is one of my passions, one of my favorite things to do, is to go get yourself a banking license. Not a bank account, a banking license. If you open up a bank account in a lot of foreign jurisdictions like Cayman Islands, Panama, Dubai, Singapore, there are a lot of countries that allow foreigners to open up something called Schedule B bank. Now, Schedule A is Schedule B bank. And so what happens is that when you deposit money in a Schedule B bank, you have to deposit with a central bank, simply because you don't own a Schedule A bank. You don't have a bank where people, you get a debit card kind of thing. You're depositing money with a central bank. The central bank, depending which jurisdiction you are set up your banking license in, will give you a line of credit that's 10 times, 15 times, 25 times multiples on the deposit. It's a function of what's called the capital adequacy ratio of the central bank, which is commercial banks and private banks that are. If every time, let's imagine you run a coffee shop, I run a coffee shop, imagine you make 500,000, I make 500,000, and you start depositing your $500,000 every time in every year, as an example, if that's your income, in the central bank. The central bank will give your bank a line of credit at 10 times multiples, and now you get $50 million. That's a lot. It's not a free money, it's a line of credit. And then if you take that $5 million, you go, I don't know, in North America as an example, for project financing, you put that down. Like, when you want to buy a house, you put 20% down and the bank loans you 80%. Same thing. You put down $5 million down and the bank gives you a loan for $20 million, right? So that $500,000 became $20 million. So it's a different way to get self-funded for life, is to go get yourself a banking license. If you run a business where you're taking money from other clients, especially in large amounts of money, maybe you're a lender. Like, there's a lot of different insurance companies, so lots of businesses where you're constantly getting money from other people. Having a private banking license could be a fantastic strategy for you to copy and deploy. It's very common. A lot of family offices, a lot of people like me, we help or open up private banking licenses or private banks in multiple jurisdictions, and I highly recommend it. Now comes the third strategy. It's very common, really cool. A lot of companies deploy this all day long, and it is to become a monetizer. What happens is that you go to a tier 2 or tier 3 bank, like in a different legal jurisdiction. So you're going to, I don't want to say tier 2 countries or tier 3 countries, but you're going to the no-name bank of Azerbaijan, to the no-name bank of Korea. You're going and you're looking for banks that are solid, that have solid foundations, but that bank needs capital. That bank needs capital. And you open up something called custodian bank with that bank, and then you tell the world that you are a monetizer of banking instruments. What happens is that People that get letters of credit and they want to monetize, they will come to you with their letters of credit. Maybe it's $80 million, maybe it's $50 million, maybe it's $500 million, but they're coming to you with their letters of credit for you to monetize it. When you get let's say $100 million of credit from one of the top 30 banks in the world, HSBC, Deutsche Bank, Barclays, I can go on and on, just Google top 30 banks in the world, you are taking their letter of credit and you're going to the no-name bank of Kazakhstan or the no-name bank of Korea, and you're depositing in that bank. These banks, the no-name banks, their paper is worthless. Their paper is almost worthless, really. So when that bank gets $100 million stamp letter of credit from HSBC, as an example, they can go to a central bank and get $1 billion line of credit or a loan or whatever the deal is in that jurisdiction. And then for that, they're going to give you, let's say, $500 million in form of a non-recourse loan, or maybe they give you $1 billion in form of a loan. But there's something they give you that's far more exponentially bigger than that $100 million of credit that you got. What the monetizer does is they give the client that brings that instrument some form of a commission. The legal word for it is a non-recourse or recourse loan. They do it one of two ways. If they're super greedy and they have a reputation, they'll say, I'm going to give you a loan. If they are a small player like a family office, they'll say, I'll give you a non-recourse loan between 50 to 80% or 90% of the face value of the instrument that you give me the monetizer. So if you want to become a monetizer, you're looking for a tier 2, tier 3 bank. You open up a custodian account with them and you become something called a monetizer. You then go and advertise this in a professional way, obviously, dealer, broker, so on. You tell them that you're a monetizer for banking instruments. You will start to receive every day, I don't know, 5, 10, 500 sometimes. People will come in with instruments saying, we want you to monetize our instrument, our letter of credit, our standby letter of credit, our bank guarantee, medium-term loans, whatever the deal is. And really what you're doing is you're taking, and I'm giving a SBLC as a common example, you're giving a $100 million SBLC into the bank that you have an account with. That bank, they have a private deal with a central bank. That information is not disclosed to you or me or something like that, but they have a private deal with a central bank. That bank gets whatever they get, but for the client who's a monetizer, they'll say $100 million, no problem. We'll give you $500 million or $1 billion line of credit, loan, or something like that. That bank has a private confidential contract with the central bank. They will get something out of it that's massively big for them because their paper is worthless. They in return come back to you and give you a non-recourse loan or a loan that is for, let's say, $100 million. They may give you $1 billion or $500 million, something like that, in form of a non-recourse or recourse loan, kind of thing that you can re-leverage. When you become a monetizer, it's not the opium. You're not using other people's money per se. It's not a banking license. What it is a letters of credit that people coming from all over the world are giving to you. They're saying, can you monetize my instrument? Can you monetize my instrument? You give them something called your closing procedure like that. So to wrap this up, there's 2 proven templates how to have your business become self-funded for life. Number 1, a big one, is to use other people's money. Whether you want to become a syndicate, run an IPO, you're using other people's money to leverage, you're leveraging it to fund your projects. Number 2, go get yourself a banking license. Number 3, go become a monetizer. I hope you like the content of this video. If you do, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. You will consistently receive customer case studies, customer walkthroughs, banking programs, strategies that the rich are deploying to become richer. And really our intention is to make proven templates, proven programs that actually work and make it available to the average business owner so that your thinking starts to expand for you to start learning a few things, experiment with this. My name is Taimur Zaman from All Funds Global. On behalf of my team and myself, thank you so much. We look forward to the opportunity of working with you. Mr. Naman, why are you working with my company?
When we came to know about you, it's all about creative project financing. Mm-hmm. There are some things that you are able to do that regular banks are not able to do. If at all they're doing only for their top customers. Mm-hmm. So So creative project financing for people like us who are in the business of making money for people in a truly trusted way can go a long way to enhance the returns for our investors.
Sure, 100%.
So with your background, with your skill set and the trust that we have built, I think it's going to go a long way in helping our investors.
Absolutely. It's been an honor. Thanks so much, Mr. Nama. I really appreciate